ever feel like you're just carrying the weight of the world, on your shoulders? Like everyone's got something they need you to do.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just constantly like the giver, the fixer, the yes person. Well, guess what? You are not alone.
Nope.
That is what we are diving into today. Personal boundaries.
Yes.
Ooh, exciting.
And
to help us do that, we have excerpts from Boundaries. When to say yes, how to say no, to take control of your life.
Yes.
By Dr. Henry Cloud
Yeah.
and Dr. John Townsend.
Excellent book. Really great book.
This book is supposed to be like the be all and end all to figuring out
it's a collab.
why you might feel that way
Yeah.
and how to like not feel that way anymore.
It is.
So I'm ready. Break it down for me. What makes it so good?
Well, I think the best place to start is with the main character, Sherry.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of walk through a day in her life, and I think you'll see a lot of yourself in her. So it's the morning.
Okay.
And right away, her son, Todd, he's having problems at school.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so she's getting calls from the principal and, already kind of setting her day off in a stressful kind of way. She's getting those demands right away.
First thing in the morning.
First thing. Yeah, and then her friend Lois calls and, Lois is going through it. Lois needs a lot of help. So
Lois is that friend we all have.
That we all have.
Okay.
And so Lois is going on and on and on. And of course, Sherry is, she's listening. She's being a good friend.
Right.
But it's just another one of those things that's adding to her.
Adding to that load.
Adding to her load. Yeah, exactly. And they talk about daily loads versus boulders.
Oh, right. Yeah. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so your daily loads are just kind of like the everyday stuff you got to do.
Right.
But then when people start putting their stuff on you, that's when it becomes a boulder.
Oh, that's such a good visual. Like daily loads. Those are manageable.
Yeah.
You can carry a few of those.
Yeah, you can handle that.
But once it becomes a boulder,
it's too much.
It's like way too heavy.
Way too heavy.
Okay, so I see how Lois is adding these boulders to Sherry's life.
And she doesn't realize it, right? She just thinks she's being a good friend, but it's that boundary, that emotional boundary.
Yeah.
That's not there. And we're not even talking about, physical boundaries, but all those different kinds of boundaries.
Yeah. So it's not just like, don't touch me.
Right. Exactly.
It's also like, don't dump on me emotionally.
Yes. And they talk about, there's skin, there's fences, there's
emotional distance.
Emotional distance, exactly.
So skin is
visible. Fences are more of like, you're setting those verbal boundaries.
Okay.
You're using your words to say like, no, I can't do that. I don't have time for that.
Right.
That kind of thing. And then that emotional distance, like protecting your heart.
So you don't get drained by everybody else.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. But I still don't understand, like, isn't she just trying to be like a good person?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that?
That's what we're taught, right?
Like
be helpful, be there for people.
Yes. Be a good friend, a good mom, like all of that. Why is that a bad thing?
But that's the thing. It's not inherently bad.
Right.
But when you don't have those boundaries, it can lead to resentment. It can lead to, just feeling burnout. Exactly.
Okay.
And then you resent the people that you're trying to help.
Because you're doing too much.
Right.
Okay, so how does someone even end up like this? Like, did she just wake up one day and decide to let everyone walk all over her? What happened?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. They talk about how childhood.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Our childhoods.
Our upbringing really affects how we set boundaries. Yeah.
Okay, so it all comes back to childhood, huh?
Yeah.
Like, how does that even play out?
Yeah.
What are some of these dynamics that can really mess you up?
Well, they have a few in the book that are very, very common. So one of them is, they call it withdrawal.
Okay.
And this is when, if you try to set a boundary as a kid, your parents just kind of shut down emotionally.
Oh, wow.
And so you learn.
Even worth.
Right, that your feelings don't matter, and that if you express them, people are going to leave.
Yeah.
So then you just learn to stuff it down.
Stuff it down, avoid conflict.
Yeah, don't rock the boat. Just keep it all in. Then another one is hostility.
Okay.
And I think we can all maybe relate to this a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah.
This is where the kid tries to set a boundary and the parent goes off.
Yeah.
Gets angry, punishes them.
Yeah.
And the message is boundaries equal conflict.
Yeah.
And you're going to get in trouble if you try to set them.
Yep. Don't cross the line.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So you end up just kind of, again,
people pleasing,
just going along with it, even if it hurts you.
Wow, this is kind of blowing my mind because I'm seeing
Yeah.
Like how these like almost invisible dynamics, from childhood can really impact you.
Oh, absolutely.
As an adult.
It's like the foundation for how you relate to other people, right?
Oh, it's true.
And then another one is control.
Control, okay.
Which this is where you've got those parents, maybe they're very into guilt trips, manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
Love withdrawal, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And so, again, the kid learns
to earn love.
Yes.
By being compliant.
By meeting other people's needs.
Yeah.
And so, if we think about Sherry, right?
Yes.
It's easy to see how maybe she had some of these dynamics in her own life that have led her to this place where she feels like she can't say no.
It's like she's still operating from
that same playbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's not serving her anymore.
Right. Exactly. It's hurting her.
Yeah. So this is all making sense, but knowing it is one thing. Right. How do you change it? Like, what do you do?
Well, that's the $1 million question. Right. And luckily, they give us some tools. They have what they call the 10 laws of boundaries.
Ooh.
Which sounds kind of
intense, yeah.
Intense, but
10 laws of boundaries, but they're really helpful. So
okay, give me like a couple of the most
so one of the big ones,
impactful ones,
is the law of sowing and reaping.
Law of sowing and reaping,
which basically means you reap what you sow.
Okay.
Even in relationships.
Oh, interesting.
So if you're constantly giving, and not setting boundaries, you're gonna keep getting more of that.
Right, because you're showing people
how true you
by not having any boundaries.
Yeah, you're setting the precedent.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going to attract people who are going to take advantage.
Right, yeah.
If you don't have those boundaries set.
The law of sowing and reaping is really, that one's resonating with me.
Yeah.
Because I do that.
Yeah.
And then I get mad.
You get resentful.
Yeah, like, why am I always the one? It's like, well, you kind of let it happen.
Exactly.
So, okay, so what's another one?
Another good one is the law of responsibility.
Okay.
And this one is all about you are responsible for you.
Okay.
You're not responsible for other people.
Okay.
You can't control how they feel, how they act, what they do.
Right.
But you can control you.
Okay, so stop trying to control everyone else.
Yes.
Just worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself. Control what you can control, which is you and your reactions.
Right, so don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
That other people are the way that they are.
Exactly.
Which is hard.
It is hard.
Okay.
But so freeing when you actually get there, right?
Okay.
Like when you can actually let that go.
Yeah. Because I think, especially as women, we're socialized to caretake.
Yes.
And be aware of everyone's feelings.
And fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is revolutionary.
It is.
I don't
know. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can just be responsible for you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But then there's that little voice.
Right.
That's but then you're being selfish.
Yes.
Right. And you're being mean.
Oh, yeah. That comes up a lot, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
if I'm not doing all this stuff for everyone, then
you're a bad person.
I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps a lot of people, especially, people pleasers like me, stuck.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that fear.
Fear of judgment, fear of
being unlovable.
Rejection. Exactly.
Right.
And so the book talks about that too.
Okay, good.
Because it's this is a common thing, right?
Yeah.
And they actually say the opposite.
Okay.
They're boundaries are an act of love.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How are they an act of love?
Because you're respecting yourself enough to say no.
Okay.
When you need to.
Okay.
And you're also respecting the other person enough to allow them to experience the consequences of their actions.
Oh.
You're not shielding them or enabling them.
Wow.
You're letting them kind of,
learn and grow
on their own.
Okay.
And that's true love.
Okay. I think I'm starting to get it. So you're not pushing people away.
Right.
When you're setting these boundaries, you're
creating a healthier
relationship. Yeah, exactly.
Because you can actually show up authentically.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. If you're so busy trying to please everybody.
Right. You're just.
Are you really being yourself?
Being whoever they need you to be.
Right. Exactly.
Which is exhausting.
Whoa, it's so draining.
It really is.
And you end up feeling resentful, even though you're the one doing it to yourself.
Right. Exactly.
So it's boundaries are actually, it's self-care.
Okay.
When you set those boundaries, you're taking care of yourself.
Right. Because if you're not good, you can't be good to other people.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But, okay, so let's say I'm on board with all this.
Okay.
I want to set some boundaries.
Yeah.
I still get scared.
Oh, absolutely.
What if the people in my life,
they
freak out?
Well, and that's valid, right?
Right.
because some people, they're not going to like it.
Yeah, they're gonna have feelings about it for sure.
Right. Especially if they're used to you being that,
Yeah, like a doormat.
the one that always says yes.
Yes.
Right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's about them.
Okay.
It's not about you.
So it's not my job to manage their feelings.
Exactly. It is not your job.
Okay.
It is your job to communicate your boundaries.
Right, but not in a mean way.
Not in an aggressive way, but just,
Clearly,
respectfully.
Yeah.
And just let them know, like, hey, this is what I need.
Okay, that makes me think of another question.
Yeah.
What about boundaries with myself?
Oh, that's a good one because we can be really bad at that, can't we?
Oh, yes.
Like we can set boundaries with other people.
Yeah.
But then with ourselves,
It's just like anything goes.
it all goes out the window,
Yeah.
right? We overcommit. We don't get enough sleep. We
don't say no to that extra glass of wine.
Yes, exactly.
Even though we know we should.
Exactly.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
So how do you even begin to do that?
It's tough.
Yeah.
But the book talks a lot about self-awareness.
Okay, so
Like noticing those moments when you're tempted.
to like overindulge or.
Right, or to say yes.
Yeah.
When you really want to say no.
Yeah.
Just noticing those
And then what?
and then making a different choice. It's like setting those realistic goals.
Okay.
Prioritizing yourself.
Self-care.
Self-care, exactly.
Like this is all great stuff.
Yeah.
But like what's the big takeaway? Like if you had to distill it down to one.
Oh, there's just one line in the book.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but it's like really stuck with me. It says, the more biblical our boundaries are, the less anger we experience.
Wow, that's so good.
It's so good, right?
Because it's not about anger.
No, it's about peace.
Yeah.
It's about creating that space
Yeah.
where you can actually experience joy.
It's so true.
Because you're not carrying around all the baggage, the resentment, the anger. It's like you create that space for peace.
Oh my gosh, this book, it really is a game changer.
It is. It's a classic.
So if you're out there listening and you relate to any of this stuff,
Yeah, we've all been there.
we want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media.
Yes.
Use hashtag the deep dive. Let us know what boundaries you're working on setting, what resonated with you.
Yeah, tell us your story.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
Yeah.